right, Sergio, we are just moments away from our two main event fighters stepping on the ring. You've been in big fights, Staples Center sold out. What was the moment like when you finally can say, I'm stepping on the scale, I don't have to cut weight anymore, and it's time to fight?
Making weight is actually half the fight won. If you make the weight properly, you go into the fight with confidence, knowing that you're strong at your best ability. So this is the first part of the fight. Once this gets cleared, then it's all excitement.
And, of course, there's been stare downs between these two fighters for weeks now, but what's the final stare down like? Were you able to read your opponent at all?
No. Everyone's a tough guy in the stare down. It's the weight that's the main thing. Once the weight is out of the way, then the confidence comes back, and then the easy part, it's fight time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. The time for Sergio talking is over. And for that, we all say thank you. But the man about to talk is the legend himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I turn it now over to the stage and Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official weigh-in announcement for tomorrow night's big main event at the legendary Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami, Florida. And it's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing and Canelo Promotions, with sponsorship provided by Hennessy Never Stop, Never Settle, Air Force Reserve, Bet Online, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, Tecate, Broxell, Value, and Orange Crush. The bout is sanctioned by the Florida State Athletic Commission. It's the main event, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Let's bring out to the stage the two fighters, starting first with the mandatory challenger. He's a former WBC Silver International Lightweight and Super Middleweight Champion and former WBC International Super Middleweight Champion. Representing and fighting from Turkey, ladies and gentlemen, the WBC mandatory challenger, ranked #1 in the world by the WBC, the Turkish Wolf, Avni Yildirim. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, coming out to the stage, he has a professional record consisting of 57 fights. 54 victories, including 36 wins by knockout, with only 1 defeat and 2 draws. Undefeated for 6 years. He's a former 2-time light middleweight champion, former middleweight world champion, current light heavyweight world champion, the reigning and defending 2-time super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros, de Jalisco, Guadalajara, Mexico, Saul Canelo Alvarez. And ladies and gentlemen, first onto the scales will be the challenger. He comes to us from Turkey. He's known as the Turkish Wolf, the mandatory WBC challenger. $167.6 pounds for the challenger, Avni Yildirim. Now stepping onto the scales, he is a 4-time world champion, the reigning and defending WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo, Saul Canelo Alvarez. The exact same weight, 167.6 pounds for the reigning and defending champion, recognized around the world by many as pound for pound the best in the world, the man known by that one name, Canelo. The action all goes down at the legendary Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami, Florida, tomorrow night. A great card of boxing, and this main event will be the icing on the cake. As pound for pound world champion, reigning and defending super middleweight champion, Canelo Alvarez takes on the mandatory challenger of the Turkish Wolf, Avni Yildirim. Here they are, challenger and champion. The challenger, a former three-time WBC champion as international champion. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, challenger and champion, the Turkish Wolf, Avni Yildirim, and Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Well, Sergio, both of these fighters made weight relatively easily, or at least I can say that. What did you make of the physiques that we just saw?
I think they both look in excellent shape. Yildirim is actually a lot bigger, but after Callum Smith, no one's as big as that. I think Canelo looking silky in those pajamas.
Against Callum Smith, you thought that Canelo should go work that body. What do you think he should do against Yildirim?
I think with Yildirim, he's as powerful and strong. He likes coming forward. He likes getting a little rough. I think he should box early, then look for the uppercuts.
All right, Sergio, exit stage right. Here comes Canelo. You know, Marvin Hagler once said, it's very hard to wake up at 5 a.m. and do road work when you're wearing silk pajamas. Do we have anything to worry about with you?
No.
All right, so what did you make of that stare down with Mr. Yildirim up there?
No, la verdad es que es parte de, ¿no? Estamos listos para pelear y obviamente sé las capacidades, pero estamos listos para esto.
It's part of it. It's a fight that's coming up. We're ready and ready for this fight.
I asked you yesterday how you felt about all the pressure from your fans who are saying you have to be perfect in this fight. But you said what?
No, siempre quiero ser perfecto. Siempre quiero hacer las cosas bien, arriba del cuadrilátero y esta no es la excepción.
I always want to be perfect. I always want to do things right inside the ring, and this isn't an exception.
Do you see this as a fight that you're going right after him from the beginning, or you're going to take your time a little bit like you did against Kovalev?
Siempre me gusta tomar mi tiempo, ¿no? Pero depende de lo que venga a hacer Yildirim. Sabemos que quiere venir a arrancarme la cabeza, pero bueno, trataremos de hacerlo mejor y obviamente trataré de anularle todo lo que viene a hacer.
I always try to be patient, but it depends on what Yildirim is going to do. He's going to try to rip my head off, so it's going to depend on what he's trying to do.
And how special is it for you to be fighting in the Miami Dolphins Stadium here in Miami?
No, la verdad es que estoy muy contento, muy emocionado de estar aquí, de abrir una nueva plaza para grandes peleas. Espero que sea la primera de muchas y es un honor para mí estar en el estadio de los Dolphins.
I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to bring boxing to a new city, and hopefully it's the first of many fights, and hopefully it can bring bigger fights here, and it's an honor to fight in the Dolphin Stadium.
All right, and finally, what's your message to your family and friends watching right now?
No, agradecido con todos el apoyo que me han brindado. Espero que disfruten de una gran pelea mañana.
I'm very grateful for all the support they've given me, and I hope they see a really good fight tomorrow.
All right, gracias. Thank you.
Gracias.
Canelo Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen. Sergio, come back in here for just a second. No one expects more out of Canelo than Canelo himself. Are you buying that, though? He's got to hear some of those voices that, hey, you can't just win this fight. You have got to look perfect.
But he said it himself. He looks for perfection, and that's the reason we're seeing that business-minded side of Canelo.
Here he comes right now, the challenger. Avni, it's finally here. You've made weight. You're fighting in the biggest fight of your life. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better. I'm ready for tomorrow. It's showtime, baby. It's showtime.
Well, Turkey, we've seen some videos you've posted. Turkey is already celebrating as if you've won right now. Why is that country so passionate about you?
Because my country is proud of me. It's big honor for me. Big honor my country. Is big honor is my old fans.
So what will happen in Istanbul if you win on Saturday night? What will
everyone's died. in Turkey, everyone's died.
Biggest party in the country.
Biggest party, yeah.
Okay, what's your message to your friends and fans that believe in you and that think you're going to pull off the upset? What do you say to them?
For everyone, is tomorrow. I'm waiting for everyone for the fight. It's tomorrow. It's big show time. It's my time. Follow me.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Yildirim, the #1 contender and the challenger to Canelo Alvarez's multiple world titles. There he goes. What chances do you give that guy right there?
Well, listen, every fighter sizes up an opponent. I look at him. He has a big shoulders, big head. You could tell he's confident. He has a deep voice, a demeanor. If he comes in shape and he's a rough fighter, he can make it ugly for anyone, even for Canelo Alvarez. So he needs to impose this size, this strength, and that's his style. So I can see it as a dirty fight, rough tactics, and if that happens, he gets his way, it's some problems for Canelo.
He is trained now by Joel Diaz. Joel Diaz says, listen, this guy used to be nicknamed the Robot because he was just so straightforward. You knew exactly what he was going to do. He says he's changed his style and that he's a new fighter. Are you buying that?
It's hard to change a robot, but you can maybe reprogram him, but he's not going to be fleet-footed. He's not going to be fighting behind the jab and doing the things that have given Canelo issues like Mayweather and Lara and Trout, which is fighting with speed and distance. His power comes behind rough tactics, getting in there, using his head, using elbows, getting in there and getting rough. That's what he needs to do. If he can implement that game plan with a little bit of Joel Diaz strategy, then I could see him having success.
All right, so there you have it. From Sergio Mora, God's lips to your ears. It happens tomorrow night. Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yildirim. Our broadcast starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on DAZN from beautiful Hard Rock Stadium. Will make history. It is the first ever boxing event held there. Of course, last year in that stadium, it was the site of Super Bowl 54. Sergio, how about the Big Bang versus Jerry Forrest, that heavyweight bout? A lot on the line for Zheli Zhang.
Yeah, Jerry Forrest coming off a decision loss with Carlos Takam, but it was a really good fight. And coming off that confidence builder right there with Zhang, I think it could be a sleeper of a fight.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you right back here on DAZN tomorrow night. It is Canelo versus Yildirim for the WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Championship of the World.